Okay, we're going to put the clutch on, and first up we have to put the flywheel on. And if I can hold that up there, you can see I've put the pilot bearing in from the back. Now we have to line this dowel up, which is no big deal. Oh, where are we? There's the dowel started. Now you can see a few sand marks coming around here, and we machined the flywheel, but there was a little hard section in here, and the carbide tooling wanted to ride over it, so we ended up sanding that back down. And look, that's okay. We've got a good flat surface. If you have a look, yeah, we can put a straight edge across and it's good. It looks a bit, it's just a different shine, how the light hits the different surfaces. You can see actually where we did the sanding, but look, that's okay. I'm very happy with that. But yeah, I didn't think it had a hard spot in it until we went to till we machined it. Then we couldn't get a tip to dig in under there, and I don't have a tool post grinder, so so yeah, we machined it all to spec, 21mm, 21.6, and got into it, yeah, and sanded the little ridge that it left. And look, it was only 10 or 15 thousandths of an inch difference, but we're putting a new clutch plate in, so we want a good surface. And the surface on the clutch plate was all rusty where the clutch had been stuck at one stage, so we've sanded that as well. But we'll just snip these up. Now these need to be done at around 90 to 100 foot-pounds. So we'll just tidy this. You can see the shine there. Okay. Tighten them up crossways. I've put a tab of Loctite on those. I'm not using a tension wrench, I'm using my calibrated elbow. Come round the bottom here, I think. Okay, that's lovely. Now the top and the bottom of the flywheel, the two opposites, there's a couple of holes here for nuts, or for studs I should say, and they just help line the clutch up as you go in. We'll tidy them up. I'll find it. I saw one of the other nuts on the floor here, and do you think I can see? There it is. So we'll just double nut it, and that'll get the studs right in deep. Oh, sorry about that. I haven't got the right spanner, but we'll go and get it in a minute, I think. Alright, that's bottomed out there now. Same on the top. And that just helps line the clutch pressure plate up. Now you'll notice that the spigot bearing is sitting in a bit. You usually bring the spigot bearing in from the back. Well, I do anyway. Don't hit in the centre of it, just hit in the outside. Nip that up with my little shifter there. Bloody rough, some blokes, eh? There we go. Okay, now on the clutch you can see an offset on the plate. This offset goes in, and I used to have trouble, young blokes would put them in backwards, and I used to tell them, just remember your dick goes in. It didn't matter what they forgot for the day, they remembered your dick goes in. So that seemed to help out. So we're using the old pressure plate, it was fine. I'll just give it a bit of a clean up and a blow out. And you can see where it's polished, where the old throw out used to run. Might bring that back a little bit now. Okay. Now, we haven't got a clutch aligning tool, you may notice. And look, I just don't have one for this particular plate, but on these single clutch plates, it just doesn't matter. Okay, we have it. We'll get all these other bolts started first. And now it is important to line the clutch plate up, and you can see through the centre here a little bit that we're just a bit out of line. So you get that close by eye in here, and you can get it really close looking up the splines. But look, what I do then is, see here, you can see the clutch plate there. So just look all around the clutch and make sure that that gap is the same all the way around. Then here is your main, this is your main pressure plate here. And you can actually run your fingers there all the way around, and you can feel when it's true. And we've got just enough tension here now that it doesn't want to drop down out of the way all the time. But we can feel, where are we here? It's down this way a little bit. So we'll come back out of there again, if we can. I'll bring you back down a bit. But yeah, I feel around the edges here, and boy, you can get it close. Well, we won't have trouble. So when we feel there, feel there, it's a bit this way. So just behind the lug there you can get a good feel where the machine surface is. And here, so it is across that way a little bit. Oh, sorry about that. So we can just move that a little bit. Can you see that plate move in there? Probably not. So we've got it just firm enough that we can move that plate easily. So that's why I didn't bother making up a clutch plate, clutch aligning tool for it. Because by the time we run down there on the same place in 3 places, it has to be true. So now I reckon we're good. And tension that up a little bit. Just take all the bolts up. Now another thing we're looking for is, as we're coming up here, we've got a gap here. And we've got enough tension there to hold the clutch plate in. Yet we have a gap, and that's our clamping pressure. So you need clamping pressure. So when your throw out bearing pushes on this clutch later on, it pushes here, then through these straps here, these straps actually help to bring this centerpiece apart and back out. So once we press on there, this is the main spring here, it changes the position through these rivets to there. So we press on this and it lets that main plate there release and come back up for us. So all we do now, we just try and do this up in an even manner. And at the moment we're just taking up the clamping pressure. You'll see the diaphragm coming in. A diaphragm clutch, the fingers are always pretty well true. Now if we were organised enough to put this in while we still had the front shaft of the gearbox here, we would have been okay. We could have used that as a clutch aligning tool. We'll just do them up tight. 35 foot-pounds. Now once we've done that, I always like to have a bit of a feel here again. It's easy to check it now. And look, that's very close. So I'm pretty sure we'll line up in there. When you look down the splines, you've got to, and your shafts do have a little bit of movement, so look, I'm pretty pleased with that. I'll just put a little bit of grease on the front of this spline here, so when we try and bring the other in, it's got a slippery surface, not a hard dry surface to run against. But that's it. That's the clutch on. We are using the old one. There's no problem in using the old one. So there we go. Job done. Well, look at this. We have the engine there, and I've joined the bell housing up to the clutch. I didn't film that. Well, you know, you don't really need to see me pushing and heaving. There was no room. The forklift was in the road here. So anyway, I thought what I would show you though is something I always do. Now, if I bring the camera over a little bit, you'll see this shaft out of the back of the high-low here, and I've put the rod on the clutch pedal here. Now we don't have any reference point, as in where the foot plate comes through here as yet, but no need. Look, all I'm showing you now is I've got probably 3 bolts done up on the bell housing. I've hooked the clutch up. There is a spring that goes here later on to help pull it back, but we haven't got that. But at the moment this is tight, I can't turn it. Now when I lean over and push the clutch down, look at that, beautiful. I can turn the clutch, and as soon as I let it up we can't. So we know after fitting the flywheel, the rear engine seal, the flywheel, the clutch, and we've slid the housing on, got it lined up nice and gentle. No, didn't pull it in with bolts or anything, just slowly brought it through, that our clutch is now working. So we can continue on now with our job. No need to worry about the clutch. When we put it together, the clutch will work fine.